Hey guys, this is your boy Madara.
This is BC.
This is Kid Joe, and
Yo, it's Vanderball.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Billy.
Hello, this is Dugo.
My name's Akashi, guys.
What's going on, you fam? If you didn't hear, you're listening to the Rising Rush podcast, the greatest hub for all Legends news, breakdowns, and discussion.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Rising Rush podcast. I know it's been a good minute. We had some technical difficulties and some time off from the game, but we're all glad to be here. I'm your host, GLO. We also here joined by Desla. Say hi, Desla.
What's up?
We're joined by Obsto. Say hi, Obsto.
Yo.
And we're here to talk about the current state of Legends and what we're currently doing in the game, and hopefully things can get a little bit better. I wish we could say, but we currently missed Kefla and Frost release, so we're kind of gonna go through them real quick and start off with them. We'll start off with Frost. Desla, what do you think about Frost?
I mean, the issue I have with him personally, and with most 1% that aren't just dedicated tanks or supports, is that they're never gonna really have that spotlight put on them if they're meant to be beat sticks, unless they are an abnormal case that really is the exception, which Frost is definitely not. And unfortunately for Frost, they designed this guy like a beat stick more than a support, where he has support qualities, but he's more so meant to do damage, which you already have full power Frieza. You don't need more damage. So that's kind of the issue with that. I think that he's all right. Nothing crazy, but currently, and we'll get to this later when we talk about a certain metallic individual. LOE is definitely still in a not great place right now, at least pure LOE. So it's a shame that they couldn't have geared a lot more towards maybe Frost having more sustain or disrupt as opposed to like offensive prowess, but it is what it is. But yeah, just a shame they kind of missed the mark on this guy. He definitely could have been a linchpin for LOE for several months out, but oh well.
Yeah, yeah. Obsto, what do you think about Frost so far?
I actually think that this is going to be a crazy comparison, and I know the other guys are going to get on my ass for this, but he's like a failed 16, where 16 was like the super, super good defensive supporting unit that can also do really good damage. Frost has the good support, but he has nothing else.
Yeah, yep. I agree. I've seen clips of Frost, and it's like, yeah, the support stuff is like non-visible because that happens on the back end, but like every performance of him is just bad. It's just lackluster. Like I don't think I've ever seen a clip where I saw like, oh, I'm really impressed by Frost right here. It's like, no, you're just horrendous. It's like, it's. I think the 16 comparison is good. I think 16 was a really good 1%. I think the only thing that kind of hurt androids at the time was just, at least hurt him, was just androids was so blast based. But like,
I mean, you
I
can make
don't
him blast. It was
exactly.
very easy to make him blast.
Exactly. You could have just made him blast, and it didn't matter at the end of the day because like he's just gonna do his job, which he did well. I just think Frost's issue is that LOE is like in such a weird spot that like we'll get into LOE and the whole campaign after we talk about Kefla, but like I think LOE was such in a weird spot, and I think he could have been something heavily that they needed. I think he could have been that new Revza or that new first form LF Frieza, not to the level of what they were, but just he's gonna be the new support unit for them. But anyways, on to Little Miss After Party herself, which I said this numerous times on Twitter. People thought I was joking. The only way Kefla shows up this anniversary is an after party, and Lord and behold, we got ourselves an LF Kefla for the after party. Uh, I'll start off first with Kefla. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Great offensive unit, good at like getting out vanishes, very good against Goku's. Problem is that type neutral really does not matter against like anyone but IT Goku. But you could also say they're planning probably to drop some purple Goku in the future that, may justify it. But, getting her ult twice is good. Feint on the blue cards as well is good. Her unique gauge I kind of like actually, just being able to like just charge it, just doing charge steps and all that. You get a card, a key, and cover null when it gets filled up. And as long as it's a release type, obviously you get some more good buffs. I think overall it's like, it's she's a good unit. Good offensive unit, good vanish restore. Um they her part of I noticed how part of an ability she gives damage guard to her allies. I think they're leaning back into that team identity with universe reps, hopefully, where like everyone just kind of supports each other passively. But yeah, I think she's great unit, especially on she's solid on universe reps. Problem is universe reps doesn't really have a defensive unit. They're just kind of all balls to the walls offense. But she is great on pure Saiyans with the yellow, yellow, green with Ultra Namek Goku, USV, who actually got his unique equipment, just to gloss over it, makes him top 10. Great unit, one of the bulkiest units in the game. And she's just like, the designated damage dealer other than Nameku. So I think she does it well. But Obsto, what do you think about Kefla?
I think she's a fantastic offensive unit, like you said. But the problem with her and her team, which is Universe Rep, is that they really needed a tank. And if you actually look at her kit, she looks like that she could tank. Like she's getting damage guard support from herself. When she gets her release type gauge, she's getting extra damage guard. So it looks like that she should be able to actually tank, but in reality, she really can't. Like if you don't get those vanishes off, you're cooked. Her
Just
only
gonna get
saving
cooked.
grace right now is the fact that the purples are non-existent right now.
Yep, 100%. Like, purples are non-existent. I don't even think any of her Zenkai benches are really good outside of like what Rev UI. I think that's like the only technically optimal bench for her. But Desla, what do you think about Kefla so far?
I would definitely say that I'm not a fan, like really at all, just because of the fact that she has no one to back her, barring if you throw her on Saiyans to actually like sponge hits, because she is one Namek Goku snipe away from being wiped out.
Yeah,
Because as Opposite mentioned before, her tanking is dog shit. It's really bad. So I don't know. I guess if someone's playing her cautiously with the vanish shenanigans, she can hang in there pretty well. But like you get caught with her once, you need to get the hell out.
yeah.
Um, Reps is just not good at all right now. It's just not even on the radar for me as far as like top teams or even use all that often. And anytime I queue into it, I just think I'm gonna get free RP because I almost never lose to it.
Hmm.
Um, and then again, Sand is good, but it just it reeks of like save me daddy Nameku vibes, bro. Because like without him being there to protect her ass, like she's a victim. I don't know how else to put it. Like she gets obliterated by him. It's so
Cooked.
crazy, man.
Yeah,
Like I don't know, man. It's a damn shame that she didn't get more tools to be able to hang in there better because I get the whole design philosophy, which that's a whole other side tangent to begin with, which I can probably get into more with us again talking about a certain brother of a Frieza eventually. But
yep.
as far as my own personal opinion regarding her, it's not positive. She's just a beat stick. I don't know how else to really put it to you. She does damage. We have like a handful of other units that do damage and do more than what she's doing and bring it to the table. And she's green, which is like the worst color she could have been to actually have impact in the meta right now.
Yeah,
So it's just overall, it's a cacophony that just all mixed together just makes you go like, what's the point? Pretty
I think
much, unless you're maining reps, which God help you, but whatever.
I honestly think her kit gets a lot more value in this meta if she's purple.
Any other color should
Literally
be
any
way
other color.
better.
Any
Any other color
other
but green. Why is she green? I don't get it.
like I dead as if you make her purple, you give an option against full power Frieza. And you also give a unit that can do a lot of good damage and goes type neutral on ult against Namek Goku.
Yeah, like she would blitz Frieza.
Well, now that we've caught up with all the things we've missed, Legends has now released the LOE campaign. You open up your game, you can see King Cold and all of his majesty in your face, and he asks you a question. Can't really say no. It's mad creepy. But with this celebration, obviously we got a free to play unit. Free to play units don't matter. We're not covering it. It's a final form. It's a cooler. Does not matter. Um, but we did get two new summonable units. a blue 1% King Cold, and the infamous unit that everybody's talking about on Twitter, Legends Limited Purple Metal Cooler. Now, when we talk about Metal Cooler, we're also going to talk about our opinions on the devs and their new design philosophy. But first, we're going to start off with King Cold, the father of the lineage of evil. Desla, what do you think about King Cold?
He's a cute unit. I don't know. Like the whole shtick with him is that you just keep cycling greens and blues with him, and they just keep replenishing, and he can just keep like spamming them, and it's cute. It's funny. A little cute gimmicky character who also does a little bit of support on the side here and there. Like it's great. But the thing that's most notable for me is not even his in-game performance, because let's be honest, he'll be forgotten in like a week or so. It's his model for a 1%. God damn, that shit looks good.
Yeah,
For a character like King Cole, especially, holy shit. I was like, damn.
I think personally, he's made to deal with a certain issue LOE has always had, which was sometimes they have too many blues in their hand. And just being a unit that can just burn through them, I think is just good overall for the team. And the fact that he also holds a blue card as well, I think it just you have him and let's say you have first form Ella Frieza on your bench, like yeah, your team is just spamming blues like nuts. Like you're just always just gonna randomly draw a blue, which is great until like you actually need to drag out a combo. But him being able to like just burn through them themselves, I think that's great. Obviously, his green card taking Vanish twice, I think that is great too. And it also, fuels his whole thing with his blue card is that like, okay, you do a blue card, you gotta draw a green card 3 times. You use his green card, you draw a blue card like what every time. There's no cap on like the green card generating a blue card, which I think overall is just it's a good thing. It's a great thing he has. I think design wise, I don't hate it, but I don't think it like you said it's gonna be too impactful in the longevity of this game because I don't think for recently like 1% you gotta be like noteworthy. Like you need to be like an evil boo. You need to be like a Krillin to like really make some impact on right now. But so what do you think about King Cold?
I think he's fun. Um, he has some nice damage, which is a little rare for 1% these days. You can't have some 1% that do damage, but that's not his main thing. Like Desolus said, his main thing is just getting a lot of greens, getting a lot of blues for the team, and that'll be helpful for Metal Cooler, even though Metal Cooler spawns his own because of he needs those blues to reset his gauge.
Yeah.
But I think he's fine. He's a better 1% unit than we've gotten for the most part for a lot of banners.
All right. I agree. I agree. He's definitely better than some 1% we've seen because I've seen some pretty dookie ones. I remember the Turles, I mean the Triku banner having like the entire Trusher core, and it's like, yeah, all these boys are trash, like forgettable. But now, it pains me because this is when one of my most desired LF movie units to come to the game. We're gonna talk about LF Metal Cooler. Obsto, I'm gonna let you go first, man. I can't be the first one to rip into him.
Oh man, you don't want to rip into your first movies buff in like 30 years.
Basically, oh, the pain.
But I really kind of feel like they wanted you to run Frost with him because of the damage card support, which is really sad.
Oh my
But
god.
what were they thinking, giving him 125% damage guard on that first life? What were they thinking? And not only that, they gave him a terrible gauge. Like, of course, its effects are good, but you need to actively reset it. Whereas you got units like Kaioken, whose gauge is a trillion times better because it resets every 3 seconds. Not only that, but his green card is one of the worst we've ever seen an LF ever get. And everyone listening right now, even you two, Glow and Desla, in Garesh's new video, like Arts Boosted Cooler, he lands the green card and attempts to go for a tackle, and the tackle registers as if he's in a combo, so you can't combo into with the tackle. It's so bad.
Oh my god.
Not only that, but if you want to make him tank, which he can with the right build, I'm not going to say he can't. He certainly can with the right build. He's not going to do any damage. Is this the worst damage we've ever seen an LF do relative to their release? Like, unironically, answer that for me. I genuinely don't know.
I mean,
Like maybe
was G
Beerus is on there.
was Beerus the only things that come into contention for me are like Beerus, G4, OG, LFSS3, Spirit Bomb, Goku, like, and
No,
those
I
are
think
like
they were doing way more damage than fucking Metal Cooler.
probably, but
Like
like,
G4 and Super Saiyan 3. I remember them doing at least passable damage. No, this damage is actively atrocious.
yeah, because
He's doing worse damage than defensive 1% like from this year.
yeah, and the thing is like, so much of his kit, his damage is also like, okay, he has to eat hits to like do that, but like, whose hits is he fucking eating?
Eh, the best part about him is that he has this he goes type neutral defensively like a lot with his gauge. Like when he gets his gauge, he gets it, but it's not uncancelable. It gets canceled every 3 seconds because Namagoku has a blue card.
Yep. And it's just, and that blue card hitting on a Metal Cooler is more than like the other players rush.
Yeah, it's actually crazy.
I can't even talk no more.
I
That's
genuinely don't know what they were thinking with this unit. You guys can go. I don't want to talk about him anymore.
Deslo, what do you got to say, man?
Oh man, what don't I have to say? Yeah, dude, this right here. I mean, I was already raising an eyebrow over their new design philosophy when we transitioned from the DB campaign to anniversary, and we saw how like literally bare bones the DB units were compared to anything we got during Annie. I get it. Annie is supposed to like reset shit, and if it didn't, we'd still be fighting Diamond right now, which I'm thankful we're not. Um, my issue gets to a point of we're past the line in the sand when we're making a unit where I have to sit back and legitimately have no fucking clue what the devs are trying to achieve. Like, there's times where I can go on ahead and see a unit has faults, whatever, but go, hey, I get it. This is what they were going for. They missed the mark, but you know what? I understand the vision. The vision is lost, brother. Like, even the magnifying glass, I'm not finding that shit. Like, what is this unit supposed to achieve besides literally making it to where you're handing out free wins like candy in timer matches? Because if he gets rushed by Namek Goku, which is very common to have happen because he locks and can just fucking click the nice button in the corner of the screen, like, dude, you're taking 15 million easily every time. That's a death sentence.
And don't forget, you still got not even just rush, you still have overdrive as well.
Yep. So it's that along with how completely pointless his green card is. It's how you make a counter green worse than LF that came out over a year before him with Baby is astounding to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. How do you pull that off? I don't know. He's over a year older than he is, and it's better. What are we doing? Like, not to mention, dude, you want to be lazy for a moment and just like make shit easier for yourselves? Make Cooler 10 times better. You ready for this? Watch. You copy and paste Kaioken's gauge and exactly how it works to Cooler. He becomes like actually 10 times better. I'm not joking. I'm being dead fucking serious. I can justify the low damage at that point if he at least has competent disrupt. Dude, his current disrupt, no one gives two shits about that stuff. You can 9 times out of 10 just brute force through it and it doesn't matter. Like, it has no bearing on a match. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know, dude. It's
there's
just
nothing.
it's just I cannot understand what they were attempting to achieve with this unit because every place I'm looking to maybe see something different, I keep finding another fault with the unit in terms of his design instead. So it's just I don't know, man. Like, as insane as it has to sound, because To be fair, DKP is literally just a worse version of an anniversary part 1 unit that came out a year before he did. But at least if you land the rush, he had a purpose and his damage was competent. What is Cooler doing that's even remotely as, and I cannot believe I have to say the word valuable when talking about DKP, but I have to. What is Cooler doing that is even close to as valuable as what DKP is doing when he lands his rush? Like,
It's not much.
nothing at all. So, just the fact that I have to, I thought in full confidence, and it hurt me to have to come to terms with that because I like DKP. He's a cool villain, but like, I was set in stone that there is no way they make an LF worse than him. But by God, they did it. They pulled it off. Like, this is the first LF in a long time, maybe ever, that I think is truly pointless. There is literally no purpose in using this unit. You are better off using quite literally anyone else.
Yeah.
Like, I just, again, man, I can't even imagine being in your shoes and going 8 months without a buff, and this is what you get. I'd be fucking furious. I'll be honest with you. But regardless, this is from the perspective of someone who is not a movies main and thankfully, in that regard can maintain their sanity. Legends at this, we need like a very, very quick rebound on this with like a unique equipment almost immediately because this is embarrassing. I don't think I can recall in recent time or again, literally ever, that an LF was just this incomplete on launch. It legit just feels like there's shit taken out of this intentionally. Because number one, why does he not restore key on entry? Are we in the fucking Stone Ages, man? Like, what are we doing? I don't give two shits if he's meant to be a tank. Anyone on planet Earth who's even remotely relevant ever restores key on entry. There's just so many things that calling them head scratchers would be such an understatement. Overall, dude, even with unique equipment, this would need to literally be the second coming of Christ to salvage this pile of dog shit. Good luck. That's all I can say.
I, what I'm about to say is probably gonna make Tesla sound like the nicest thing ever. Not only is Metal Cooler the worst premium release this year, I genuinely believe Metal Cooler is the worst premium release not only this game has ever seen. I think Metal Cooler is the worst premium release of any Dragon Ball game of all time. I genuinely think that. Because at least when Dokkan has a bad release, at least you can run the unit on certain events for missions. I cannot genuinely manifest the use and value of this unit. I'm gonna go through each and everything about this unit and why it doesn't fit their design philosophy and why it's bad. You have a defensive type unit. Okay, cool. You have slightly better defenses than Kefla. You have 125 damage guard. That's horrible. No excuses. You have a gauge that, first of all, you fill up your unique gauge. And sure, it gives you key, gives you damage, gives you damage guard, reduces your own sub counts, gives you HP. My nigga, that's it? Sure, you cancel your attribute downgrades, you up your enemies' arts like strike and blast arts, but that's it. And then you're stuck with that gauge until you empty out with a blue card. And the value you get from that blue card, all you get from that is like 30% cut pen type neutral, both cancelable. So you go against anybody that cancels buff effects, you're losing both of that. Baby, as you said before, has more value on his gauge and his blue card than Metal Cooler. Horrendous. Bad design off the blue cards already. The green card, can't chain into it. Doesn't really stop your opponent because they have other options. Outside of like giving you key in a hand and cover null, which, okay, you already have cover null, other options, whatever. You can get cards as easily in this game. That's not a big deal. But like it's appreciated. Key, sure, whatever. It's a horrible green card. You're almost never going to use it, and the only situation where it's ever good is in a 1v1. And if you're in a 1v1 and Metal Cooler is your last unit, then there are deeper problems with you as a player. His ultimate, absolutely non-factor. I don't care if it has 70% cut pen. I don't care if it has 30% extra damage. I don't care if it reduces their ki by 100. His damage is trash. Why? Because his damage requires you to take hits to build up his damage. What's the problem with that? He cannot eat hits. He has a 125% damage guard. Sure, in his other lives, he gets more. But the problem is, each life is so fragile in this meta that I have witnessed on numerous showcases, on numerous LBR matches, and even in my own matches, that full power Frieza is shredding him. A green unit that is not type neutral is shredding him. Now, mind you, this green unit also gets type neutral on his own gauge, is shredding him. I've seen Namek Goku do 75% of this man's health on a blast card. A strike-based unit doing 75% of a defensive type's HP on a blast card is some of the most asinine incompetency I've ever seen from a development team. His main is absolutely horrible. It's borderline useless because why the fuck would you lock his vanish gauge? The most valuable part about his main. Outside of that, everything else about his main is basic. Destroys the enemy's hand. Units have hand protection, whatever. And everyone draws cards like crazy. If you had any other value, sure, we could excuse the rest of that. But the fact that his gauge is locked to that second comeback is horrible. We're in a timer count meta. And with the yellows that exist, Cooler is a detriment. You're going to lose. The unit you want to eat these big moves to survive is going to be the reason you lose unless you defeat your opponent, because you will lose to timers. Cooler's own kit is just, oh my god. He only gets a card and ki after using a card, Striker Blatz. He doesn't get any on entry. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in the world. The fact that they did this to a unit like Namek Goku, they saw how, the new one, the new LF one, the newer one, they saw how bad it was that on his own platinum unique equipment, they gave him ki on entry on top of that because they knew how bad of an idea it is to just have something like that. Sure, he can generate his blue cards if he has a full gauge to do things, but he's shit. Why would I use his blue card to empty his gauge when every other person can win me the match with their blue card? Enemy vanishes, and they you do minus card draw speed and you heal. Sure, cool. You heal 10%. Their tap attacks take away that 10% because of how fragile you are. You're dog shit. It's a horrible unit. I genuinely believe because they're just so I don't think Metal Cooler has any value to your team. And the only saving grace of this unit, the only saving grace is that Final Form Cooler still has to Zenkai, and we still have to see the full details. And all I can say is this saving grace is going to last until Tuesday. Because if Cooler is not a unanimous top 5 unit that supplements and assists and helps Metal Cooler specifically based on his kit, I think Metal Cooler is the worst release we've ever had. Is a prime example of the devs can say what they want to say, but they have proven they're incompetent. They don't play test their units. They have the worst track record with their own like player base. I genuinely think that whoever designed Metal Cooler should never touch any sort of development job ever again. Because this unit just reads, hey, let's take all the things that players complained about in these other previous units. A gauge like Yellow Goku Black, LF. Issues with sustainability like Red MZ. And let's just make it worse on a whole new unit right after we changed our design philosophy, said we were going to do better. Mind you, we already didn't believe you with Daima. We saw, okay, units had a role with Daima, and then you dropped the anniversary units. What the fuck is Full Power Frieza's role when he does everything? Like what are we doing? Like, I don't believe the devs. I think the devs talk, but they don't listen and they don't comprehend the things they've said. You do these things, you say these things, and yet you don't even follow through with them. Do you, like, to the devs, like, be honest with yourselves? Do you even believe any of the things you're saying? I know people will say North American players or like American players are like, oh, we're negative. No, the difference is this. Unlike some of you other players, we're not bootlickers. We're not gonna just listen to, like, eat whatever shit comes to our face and act like we're grateful 24/7. We play this game. We spend time on this game. We spend money on this game. If we want to criticize something that we spend our money and our time on, we're gonna criticize it. When the devs do good, we will praise them. We've seen this numerous times again. When they do good, they praise them. I think Metal Cooler is almost as big of a disappointment of a unit as Zenkai Awakenings were to the detriment of the game's health. Because Zenkai Awakenings were done with no prior knowledge, nothing, no playtesting, nothing, and it caused one of the worst metas that went on for a year. Metal Cooler is just a prime example of dev incompetency and that this game really doesn't have any hope when it comes to units being better and more consistent dev changes. It just means every single release is a coin flip on whether the devs thought or didn't think. Whether it's a Gohan they glazed or a character they don't care and they just wanted to push out for the day. Like, I think this is genuinely one of the worst releases, and I don't think the campaign is going to fix this. Now, mind you, we still have technically one more premium release for this campaign. I don't care what that premium release for this campaign is. Because the problem is, whatever that premium release is, if it's good enough to help Metal Cooler, odds are it's going to be the number one unit in the game. And we're just going back to this toxic cycle that you devs have left to cook up where things are bad, let's make them worse. There's a problem, let's sell the solution. And the solution is an even bigger problem. Like that's really all I gotta say. Like, this is so shit. And I guess this goes back into like our next point, which is the devs' design philosophy being honestly absolute garbage. Dessa, what do you want to say about that?
I mean, again, man, like, you know, my heart goes out to you for this release, man. I know it sucks. Like I told you before when I was talking about my segment for the guy, like, I cannot imagine waiting literally 2/3 of a year for a buff, and this is the pile of dog shit I get put in a plate to enjoy. And the people that I have seen try, like, it's unbelievable that there are defenders for this shit, but the fact that there are, for anything I've been seeing for clips, there will be at least one or two people in those comments for clips that I see on Twitter, whatever. They're like, average DBO player when the defense type isn't doing everything on the plan ever. It's like, dude, we're missing the plot. We're missing the plot. I don't know
The
how else to
problem
put
is,
it.
is that the problem is that he's doing nothing.
No, he is the most nothing burger premium release we have ever seen. Like I said, my segment, he is truly pointless. But again, as far as this design philosophy, whole, like, new direction we're going in, it's not good. Plain and simple. Um, Oddly enough, um, the stinkers have really been the premium purple characters this year with their new philosophy. You have DKP, you have Evolution Blue Vegeta, and now this guy. All three of them have had major problems in their kit. Now, do I think it's a coincidence that all three of those releases that are particularly noteworthy in terms of how bad they are, all being purple, is something that maybe, like, look at a bit more with intentions behind it? Perhaps. But I'll also just chuck at the fact that these devs are, quite frankly, missing brain cells, which no one, I would like to assume, would disagree with.
And just to
So,
translate for anybody who doesn't understand, he's basically calling the devs out on their shit. Either you made these purples worse for full power Frieza, or you're that stupid that you didn't think about how much of a problem full power Frieza was.
yep.
Every single one of these purple units has a specific small little flaw outside of Metal fucking Cooler. DKP and like Vegeta, they both have flaws that's like you read the units kits and it's like there's just a very obvious thing that you just one small thing that you do. And if you fix this, it makes the unit better. What's DKP's flaw? Just up the boost he gets from his Dragon Balls. That's it. Like if nothing
Not
else
even
in
that. Like, you would just make his rush guaranteed like SV
yeah, or even
because
that.
he gets a whole new hand. So I don't see why not. And then, like, Evo, unfortunately, the issue with him is that he's just fundamentally flawed, like, to the core, because they had that PvP balance update before he dropped where they're punishing combo comp, and then what do they proceed to do?
They
Drop a
drop a
premium
comp.
unit that's whole shtick is comboing.
Yeah.
Like, why? I
A whole
don't
unit with comboing with no immunities.
know.
No nullifying abnormal conditions or actually downgrades. Like, sure, his level 3 gauge is like, yeah, sure, it's a great thing, but it's
But it
easier
takes
to
a million years to get there.
like it is way easier to get a doctorate in anything
Yep.
than to like go through level 1 to 3 with your sanity. It's just dumb because you and the thing is they can't say they're like, oh, like maybe we messed up this one time. No, we've seen this time and time again. We've seen you drop a shit unit and then proceed to drop a good unit. And then later down the line, we'll see you drop a good unit that's just a better version of that shit unit. And we're like, why the fuck didn't you do that in the first place? And then you'll repeat the process again and again and again and again. Like, think about every single shit unit we've ever had in this game. Just even for our listeners, just think about it, right? Every single shit unit in this game that has ever dropped, there was a unit that did their role and what they wanted to do that was better than them in the past and in the present. They know what either they know what they're doing or they're incompetent, which basically means you guys have to basically see this for what it is. Either we have the worst devs of any game of any gotcha game, or they're just playing in your face and you guys are some people and they know who they are just too stubborn to realize, hey, they're just playing in our face because they know we're gonna summon. They know we're gonna 14 star this unit that's trash. And what are you going to do? You're gonna give them your money. You're gonna spend your CC over and over and over again. Why? Because every single release is a gotcha. It's one thing for like the release of a unit. It's one thing to like to be a gotcha in a game where like, all right, sure, I got to summon for the unit. But the fact that like it's a genuine coin flip if a unit's gonna be good, and we don't even know if units releases are good, like that's gotta say something. Like look how bad this year is. Not a single unit pre-anniversary is usable in high level PvP. Not one. Not a single one. Like reminder, Cell was a unit pre-anniversary, and people are arguing that like if you're running Cell, you're coping. Like, you see how crazy that sounds? That's how bad this like the devs are when it comes to balance, to power creep, to just handling anything. FGT, Future Gohan and Trunks, the Success unit, it didn't even last the anniversary. MZ, some people said he was DOA. ITQ, DOA. Daima ruined the game for everyone for like months. Dragon Ball, new philosophy. Surely let's see something come out of it. And then you completely abandon that philosophy for anniversary. Like what are we doing?
I actually think that the way Cooler is because I think he's the first iteration of his kind of unit. Like, we've seen this before, where they come out with a new mechanic, and the first unit that they come out with this new mechanic is purposely gimped in a way where they don't know how to balance it, and then the next unit or the next few units after that, it's more balanced and they know what they're doing. Like, the first time they did that was the very first revival, like with Cell, where he had a 100% full revival, but his defensive were terrible. Like, his defenses were almost as bad as Metal Coolers. But after that, almost every single revival after him had perfectly fine defenses, but they only got like 70% of their health back. Of course,
But the
nowadays
crazy
they get
thing, but
like,
the crazy thing about Cell was post revive, Cell was a
oh yeah,
cracked unit.
oh yeah, he was great. He was great. But again, they don't know how to balance Metal Cooler having 3 lives, and they did it again with the Boo Bros having the standby, but that's all that they really had, and they did nothing else. And then 2 months later, we got the Gammas, and they're fantastic. So I think either next month or in 2 months, we're gonna get a unit that has the 3 lives, but they're just gonna be immeasurably better, like in every single way.
Yeah, like, and my problem with that is all these units. It's like, yeah, like, sure, there's certain things I can understand. Okay, the devs can be a little bit hesitant on. Like, they were hesitant on Boo Bros and the standby gauge because they were unsure, like, okay, how strong is this going to be? And like, obviously, I understand with them. It sucks that it had to be them, but like, they were just hesitant on, like, all right, is the unit going to be too strong? But the problem with me is that I think the problem is that when you look at Boo Bros at the time, it was just okay, stats is an issue, damage numbers is an issue, and kit wise, it's an issue. I think the easiest fix to that is just give them good kits, but just lower the numbers. It's easier to fix numbers with equips and Zenkai benches than it is to fix fundamental kit flaws. If a kit fundamentally is too strong, then you're just gonna have to up the damage numbers. Sure, whatever. If it has a specific part of their kit, like, say for example, like we said, the standby gauge, standby attack. Sure, you could argue that's strong. But if you give the units just less on their own overall stats, but still give them a good competent kit that even without the gauge they're solid, still works out. You still, like, you have an out because that means you, all right, we don't need to drop any cracked equips for this unit. Like, sure, they may need to have some Zenkai benches, but like, that's the balance in their sense. But then you just run that risk of, like, the devs run this risk way too often of, let's test out a new mechanic, let's hold back on a unit. But I don't think it's ever been successful where they've held back on a unit because they have a new mechanic and the unit releases and the unit's been good. Unless the mechanic is actually, I'll give one time they did it as Super Vegito. Because look at Super Vegito and FGB, Fusion Gogeta Blue, last year's anniversary units. And the funny thing is, I almost think there's like 2 separate dev teams because you drop Super Vegito with arguably the most cracked ability in the game at that time. And you take that ability away and you look at his kit, he's still cracked. He's number 1 with the guaranteed rush. You take away the guaranteed rush, he's top 3. You look at FGB, a unit with an effect that was meant to counter one of the most problematic things in the game that the community has been crying and begging for you to address. And he's mediocre in comparison. And if you take away that assault chain, he's not even top 10. Like, I don't even know what to say. I think these are just the worst devs we've ever seen. No competency, no brain cells, no thinking. Like, I think you could genuinely put an average IT college student in these devs jobs and they handle things way better. Because like it's starting to get really annoying. That like I'd almost like consider telling people like don't play Legends, don't spend your money on this game. I guess this is probably where we'll end off the podcast here. I wish we could tell you more positive stuff, but to be honest, go touch grass. You have a life outside of this game. Sure, we may sound heated and all this, but this game is a hobby. It's like I have a life outside of this. We all have lives. Desla has lives. Opso has lives. We have lives. We have jobs. We do this like our hobby. And if we're not enjoying our hobby, we're just gonna say it the way things are. Yeah, that's my final words. You two have any other final words?
Don't think so.
Fuck Middle Cooley.
Anyways, we're gonna catch you guys on the next episode. Appreciate y'all. See ya.